everyone. Welcome to the Test Associates podcast. I am Vaishnavi Nashte, and today we have Sumit Gundawar, who is the head of technology and digital innovation on AI powered systems on healthcare and in the longevity space. His focus is on making AI output safe and reliable and testable. So it's going to be quite an interesting podcast today. So make sure to give it a listen. Sumit has also written a fantastic article on the software testing news as well. So make sure that you read that as well. The link will be in the description. So without any further ado, welcome to the podcast, Sumit. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm really good. I'm doing really great. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's really hot today, isn't it? Like it must be worse in London. I'm sitting here in Brighton, so I think it's not that bad, but I think London always seems to be a little worse because of the buildings over there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's really hot in here. The heat wave that keeps happening every month now. It's getting worse and
Exactly
worse
right.
every year now.
Yeah, but honestly, I am not complaining. The weather lord should probably know that because I would love to have the summer rather than the grayness of the UK
Yeah,
and the rains.
the traditional gray weather. Yeah.
Yeah, I would much rather prefer the heat wave. But anyway, Sumit, how long have you been in testing, by the way?
Well, I was in testing quite a long time. I've been in a professional career, I would say about 4 years. But before that, I also had my master thesis based on testing. So I was answering the question on how the traditional software is very easy to debug because it throws a real error, but how an AI system is very difficult to debug because it's always confident, right? It is meant to agree with you.
Yeah,
It doesn't understand. It's not trained on wrong answers.
yeah.
Right. It's whenever you ask it a question, it just comes up with an answer. So that is something I was more focused on.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
And did you you also attend the conference last month, the National Software Testing Conference? Did
Yeah.
you find that it addressed some of the key challenges that testers are facing this year, or how did you think about the conference overall?
Well, overall, the conference was really good. I met really interesting people and made new
Yeah.
connections. That was really good for me as a professional career connections. That was really great. On the sessions, I did attend, I think, about the day one, which I think 5 or 6 sessions I had attended and one workshop. It was really great. One thing that I was more focused, I believe one thing that was not mentioned more was how to build safe AI, and it was more on how we have a software system that can help you in your company or in your process.
Yeah,
But the core problem, I think that needs more discussion and that needs uh, more research on by more industry leaders, I believe.
yeah,
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 that is something that was from my perspective, because I come from a very technical background. I work mostly in the backend system, so that is why I believe this is something that needs to be covered more.
100%. I think everybody's been speaking about AI, and obviously we've reached a point now where it's just difficult to we can't ignore it anymore. And
Yeah, that's
the
true.
ones who do or do tend to have an opinion about it, they'll probably just get left behind. But at the same time, with the rise in AI, it's so important to have the right guardrails for it as well. But I think that's not discussed enough about it. So yeah, that's definitely a feedback for us. But thank you. It's definitely something we could cover more in our podcast as well.
Yeah.
But I would love to know what first drew you towards your focus on testing and validating AI systems rather than just building them.
Well, to be honest, I actually built them first, but then I moved my focus into thesis side. This was during my master, so the AI was just starting to boom, and this is when everyone was like, AI is everything. Everyone needs to go on the train. Like just follow what we say. There are like five or 10 people who are the leaders in AI, who have built AI, who have made everyone adopt AI, but there aren't enough tester. So there aren't enough people who know exactly what the AI gives.
Mhm.
Uh, like some of the examples we can see, uh, recently there was a viral reel from the US where one of the Senate members, he was reading a document in the Senate, and he read the last line, if you need anything else on these details, please let me. He just copy pasted the entire response from a chatbot. So you know how ChatGPT is more designed to put all answers as an open question.
Yeah.
So
I've
yeah,
seen like
so
some LinkedIn posts as well where the job recruiter has posted like some job description, and at the end it says that line about let me know if you want me to modify anything.
yeah, that's true. Actually, there was similar one job recruiter. I saw one post on LinkedIn. You know what had happened? I think the job recruiter used ChatGPT to evaluate candidates. I think they already evaluated a couple of candidates, and they included that. And ChatGPT included that in its response, which in the middle of the response it said that this person and this person are strong, but their salary requirements are quite high. So they just posted the whole thing.
Oh
Like they
God.
that's where proofreading comes in, that they no one really does the proofreading nowadays. Like they just put everything into ChatGPT or Claude. These are the most frontier models, and they just expect that the models know the right answer by default, which I
Yeah.
believe is not the case, because the reward function for every AI model is to give an answer. Even though it is fabricated, it does not matter, because everyone needs a quite quick answer.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even with recruiters, I think it's a bit difficult, isn't it? Like the expectations from the candidates would be to not use AI at all. In fact, in the answers, in case they're writing or any sort of job interview that happens at a later point, there's a encouraged not to use AI for it. However,
Mhm.
if recruiters are doing that, it just creates like a very weird imbalance.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway. My next question to you is why is testing AI so different from testing traditional software? And what tends to break teams that are making that shift?
I would say, like I said before, software testing, traditional one, gives you a real error. Like if you're coding something, if you test it, it throws, like, for example, if you used integer amounts on floating amounts, or floating amounts like decimal points and real numbers,
Mhm.
you can directly compare them. Like this number 3.1 is not equal to 3. Simple. For it, it's just going to say an assertion error or an integer input error, or whatever kind of system that you have built. It's just going to give you the normal error. But for an AI system, there is no such thing. You cannot depend on one single answer, one single truth. Because, for example, even if you ask the AI same exact question 10 different times, it will come up with an answer of 10 different ways, because these systems are designed in such a way that even though, for example, determinism in an AI model, so there is something called as a temperature, right? Everyone assumes that if the temperature is zero, the AI model is always going to give the same result. But in reality, when you test these AI models in temperature zero, it does not. So this was actually tested by one university in 2 years ago, and they tested 10,000 outputs with the same question, and they found that 80% of the time it gets a different answer, and usually it happens around the token number of 100 at 205.
Mhm.
So uh, then they started investigating on what actually really happens here. Why is it like, even though we have given it a temperature of zero, that means do not be creative about your answer, give the same exact answer, it still deflects, it still does its own thing, it
Yeah.
still seems to have a mind of its own, right?
Mhm.
So they found that the reason is the way that batch input size has been calculated in a technical way, right? So uh, every batch size is different. So what the conclusion they came to is, when you are testing it at 11 a.m., there might not be as many users as using. So the batch size becomes different. So the output becomes different. So the mathematical model that it calculates, the addition, the floating point calculation that it does, it comes to a minor different number every time. So a small change in a number is picked, it directly relates to picking up a different word. So even though the answer might be same, the way it writes is different. Right. So this is why you cannot really have a traditional system of software testing because you cannot be reliant upon one of them. And what breaks for a team is the non-determinism. Like it correlates with the variance in the system under test. It's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if they put an LLM as a judge, which brings verbosity bias, right? Position bias, there is like self-enhancement bias. The judge prefers a length. So when, like for example, you can do this test yourself. Like, it does not require any technical knowledge for anyone to be using this test. Try to get output of the same question with a different model. Ask one ChatGPT, ask Claude, ask it to summarize it in 100 lines or 100 words or 200 words, and ask Claude to do it in 2000 words, right? So, and then you do go to a different model, like for example, go to DeepSeek or go to Google Gemini and give it to both of them and tell it which one is right. It will always give you the 2001. It prefers length because what AI models think that since it has more length, it might be more accurate. It might have more sources. It might have more trust. So this is where software testing is a bit more difficult to incorporate into in our traditional way.
Interesting. Yeah, that's quite interesting to hear actually. Like even with you working in the longevity space, my next question is a bit more about that. Like in a more regulated space such as healthcare, how do you build trust in an AI system before it actually goes live?
So when we built an AI system in such a highly regulated space, or whenever there is a concerns of health and regulation, right? It's a human on the line here. You are talking about a patient. It's a clinic. It's a hospital. It's something that directly relates to a person's health. So
Mhm.
that is where we start with unanswerable suit, right? So you have to test this first. First is when you build a system, you have to think that these systems are not autonomous. These are assistive systems. They help you. They do not replace you, right? And then you have to go into different kinds of tests. So the most basic and the most easier test that we can do here is to test to see that if you give an answer, does it really have the ground truth to it? That means the fact that it's trying to claim, does it appear in any of its knowledge that we have trained it on or any of the documents that we have provided it on? So if it does, that is perfectly fine. That means it passed the test. We are good to go ahead. If it does not, that means it started to deflect from there itself. Then there is the ground level, like claim level grounding that we call. Like, pull out the factual claim and see if the sentence actually reflects the answer. Sometimes it can go and it can look at a number and it can think and it can misinterpret the sentence or the meaning of what the document holds. And it can claim that this number, for example, number 152, it appears in the document, but it completely relates to a different case or a different medication or different whatever that is. But the AI system took that number 152 and then it generated a completely new answer upon it. So if you only depend on the numbers that existed between the factual details and between your system, you might be right. You're like, okay, this system is passing, we are good to go ahead. But when you actually pull out the details from the system, from the real information, and when you compare, the meaning is completely changed. The number that is pulled from the system is completely different and completely unrelated to the output. So that is the point of it, I'd say. And the number three is consistency. It says if you ask the same question over and over again, it is not consistent. So the basic question that you can do is consistency. Ask the same question 100 times. So then it's the test is number three because it's a bit more expensive to do so because LLM has its own cost, its own usage. So it depends on which provider you're using or if you have your in-house model. So there is a difference between those. So
Mhm.
that's when I would say these are the three conditions that we usually put. These are the most basic levels that has to pass when creating an AI system.
All right, all right. And when it comes to obviously any testing team trying to build AI, there might be a few habits or like testing habits that software testers might be following. What habits does your team follow? And is there anything that you'd like to suggest to other teams?
Uh, I would say the basic ones are the most important ones that not a lot of people write and not a lot of people pay attention to. So one of them, which I already mentioned just now in the previous one, is uh, writing the small test where you can actually test the ground truth with your answer. So if the number does not match, if the data is not labeled, that is something you can quickly flag. You don't have to wait around and you don't have to do a full comprehensive test of your entire model just
Yeah.
to find at the end that okay, this there is a problem with this model and uh, it has too much temperature. That means it is too creative with its answer and somewhere it just forgets about the reason that it's answering the question itself and it just goes on and then that's what we call like AI slop, right? And I believe the simple test that we can do is take a data set, for example, that whatever you train the AI model on,
Yeah.
take random 20 examples, random 50 examples from it, delete five, and just delete five or remove five and put it aside or for your own. Don't let the AI know that we have done this, and then give the same 20 questions that you have to the AI model and see how much variance it has between the answers that it had and between the answers it did not have anymore after training. So that way we need to we can understand that if the AI model is trying to correlate or trying to find answers which is more related, or if it goes ahead and looks for the exact answer in the model. If it, for us in a medical industry in longevity, it's very, very difficult, right? So in these cases, we try to see that if the model has to go and find the exact answer, it does not have to find the related questions. So
Yeah.
since we have taken the 20 examples, there might be out of those 20, there might be three or four questions that might be related to the first five that we deleted. So the AI model is not supposed to go and look for those 3 to 5 sample or related questions. It is supposed to go and find the five that we've deleted. If it cannot, it has to come back to us and tell us that I cannot claim that this is the right answer. So I am not able to answer this. Please review a human or please follow forward this case to a human.
Mm.
So this is where this is the habit that I would want every software tester to have, where they would have to check their AI models, evaluate their AI models in such a way that it will always find a real exact answer from the test suite and not try to find the most related ones.
Right, interesting. Because obviously, I think the more information you feed the model, the more they would like be able to come up with a real answer, isn't it?
Yeah, it tries to make it more generalized, that I
Yeah.
believe.
Hmm.
But generalized AI models are fine. I mean, I'm okay with it, and they are really good. But I believe that generalized AI model might not solve all your problems or all the decisions or all the systems that you're trying to build. There are some systems, there are internal solutions that require very specific outputs in very specific formatting in very specific way. So there is like, when do you differentiate between an automation and between an AI, right? So
Yeah.
you can just automate using a normal code and it just does the exact same thing over and over again. Like I think I have some systems like that that pull out some record for every month and just sends me the raw numbers. Okay, fine. I have the raw numbers. What do I do with it now? Like there is no insights from an AI. So that's where, a small amount of AI that has to go in where it's supposed to have some knowledge of how your organization works or how this project works or how or what exactly is the purpose of that. And then it has to take that raw numbers and give me the insights on what it actually thought the real insights from these numbers are, instead of me fine going around and looking at the numbers and trying to compare it with previous numbers or any other. So
Yeah.
this is where like AI can solve our problems, and it's more than an automation, less than a generalized AI. It's right in the middle.
Gotcha. Wow, Sumit, thank you so much. I think it's been a very interesting podcast, and you've been really succinct with your answers as well and provided so much value. For those who want to read his article, please make sure to click the link in the description. Thank you so much, Sumit, again, and hope you have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, have a lovely day too.